You need to have a tribe in your home life. You need to have a tribe in your business life. So if that's a mentor, if that's business partners, collaboration is important. Every business I've ever done, I've worked with someone.
Hey, this your boy Ty Corbitt, host of the No Excuse Podcast. We'd like to welcome you in, and if you want to learn more about staying motivated, staying tuned in, this is the place to be.
Yo, welcome to the No Excuse Podcast, where we talk about what it means to live life with no excuses. We are here to motivate, help with mindset, motivation, and all the things that we talk about to live life with no excuses. Today, we got a special guest in the building. Matter of fact, 3 special guests. They are the phenomenal, amazing, outstanding women of the 6888 Kitchen. I am happy to be able to introduce them. We've been trying to get them on our show for a while, and today is the day. So you guys get a treat. You get to learn from some of the best. So today, I would like to say welcome to the ladies of the 6888 Kitchen. Hey, how are y'all? So we are here. You guys have been doing phenomenal things in the community. You guys have been doing phenomenal things in your personal life, in your personal building. But the 3 of you are together, and you guys are doing something extraordinary, not only for our community, but for everybody who's in the food industry. So today, I want to start off by letting you guys introduce yourself, and we're going to start on the far end with Miss Jamaica White.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jamaica White. I'm the Chief Operations Officer of the Old Taste Foundation and with the 6888 Kitchen.
I'm Shalinda Scales. I'm the Executive Director of the Old Taste Foundation.
Hello, my name is Debria Rice, and I am the Executive Kitchen Manager for the 6888 Kitchen.
Thank you. And I am happy to have them in the building with us today. Let's start off by just telling us how this whole thing came to fruition. How did it come together? What made you guys want to do it here and in Dayton and our downtown hub, formerly known as the Arcade?
Listen, this project, I'll just tell you off rip, it's divinely ordered.
Yes.
Divinely ordered by God. He has orchestrated this entire thing. And about 4.5 years ago, we met. Jamaica and I already knew each other. We were working together. Mm-hmm. I have a catering company, Divine Catering and Events. Plug.
That's right.
And at the time, I had a small production kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and we would rent that space.
Mm-hmm.
So we would rent it out to other food entrepreneurs who needed space, because as a catering company, I'm not there 24 hours a day. So we were able to rent that space out, and different companies came through our kitchen. Picnic, Illy's at one point was there, and we quickly began to outgrow the space.
Yes.
So we decided, let's get a larger kitchen so that we can grow and we can help more people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we went to the Downtown Dayton Partnership, and when we met with them, they were like, they were showing us some spaces, but they said, hey, young man named Scott Murphy introduced us to Charlinda Scales. Mm-hmm. He said, do you know Charlinda? And we were like, no, I kept hearing her name. Mm-hmm. They're like, it's this lady, and she does this consulting, and do you know her? And I'm like, no, I don't know her. Who is she? So shortly after that, though, Scott calls us like, hey, do you know Charlinda? We like, no. So he sets up this introduction. We meet in July of 2019. Wow. And the rest is really history. I mean, it's like after that meeting, we met her, and she sat at the whiteboard and just, casted this vision, and we kind of told her what we were doing as far as renting the space. And from there, it just kind of went and just escalated and just went further and further and further. And we knew that it was a need in the city of Dayton. And that was even before COVID. Mm-hmm. So once COVID hit, it was really like, this is something that is really, really needed. Our food entrepreneurs are struggling. Mm-hmm. They don't have the resources. There's no commercial kitchen in the city of Dayton that people can rent. It's very expensive to put one together. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of how it came together. It was like by a divinely ordered meeting that was put together, and we have been working on it ever since. And when I was introduced to this, I had no idea it was going to be this.
Wow.
But yeah, that's how we got together. So I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is, like you said, divinely ordered. And I'm sure, and we'll get into this, I'm sure there were pitfalls. I'm sure there were roadblocks. But to sit here now, 4 or 5 years later, to say we are in this space, that was because you guys made no excuses. Y'all made no excuses to be great. So now kind of tell me, what are you guys doing with it? Like, why is it so important that our community has this kitchen? If you can kind of elaborate on that a little bit for us.
Well, it really comes down to a couple things. If you look at a city and look at the growth of a city, commercial kitchen can do economic development for a city. Mm-hmm. And it's because small business drives the local economy. So we are servicing those small businesses that get often overlooked because we're in a hub of military and now we have Intel, all these people coming in with technology and stuff. But if you sit on the tourism board, like I sit on the tourism board, you know that food and beverage is what would be the key to growth. People want to know, where do you eat when you visit a city? So they could see from the day-to-day issues of a small business owner, they needed space. Small business owners were saying, we needed space. I am consulting them as they were trying to stay in business, and then after COVID, trying to not go out of business. And it really broke my heart to say there's nowhere for you to go. So if I look at the hierarchy of a food business, you start in your home. Most people will start in their home. And then the next step would be a commercial kitchen, and then you would go to maybe having manufactured. So I have a sauce, it's manufactured by someone. It's called co-packaging. And then if you get like Kraft Heinz level, then you become a manufacturer. But these guys are stuck right here. And that is something that we could all recognize from a different perspective, which I just love how all of our backgrounds came together perfectly to get the solution to this. So.
No, that is phenomenal, and for our guests that's watching out here, they're laying the roadmap out. They're telling you some of the things that you need to do and why it's so significant and why it's so important. But this is all knowledge that you can learn from these ladies. I kind of want to go back just a little bit and kind of talk about your inspiration. What inspired you? Not only because, and correct me, you all are mothers, correct? All right. So to be a mother and to be a Black woman in corporate America, you guys are tapping corporate America and the resources that you need to build this, because this is, like you said, it's a large commercial kitchen. It expands worldwide eventually. But tell us what was the motivation behind it?
Well, I'll talk to. I guess for me initially, it was when we first started. What motivated me was to expand this place for other entrepreneurs. I was not looking to do this at first.
Okay.
I did not know this was even possible.
Okay.
When I met Debria and approached her about us partnering to expand Divine Catering, I was just really looking to grow a business. I like to grow a business. I was really looking to get into something, grow it, and to exit. That's what I like. I did not know that was going to turn into a long-term partnership. So when that happened and we saw that there were other food entrepreneurs that were looking for some, a place to grow, I said, oh, well, let's give them a place to grow. And when we started doing that, and we saw that there was a need like the arcade, that's when I realized, oh, we're about to create legacy.
Yes.
We're about to create something in the city that is going to create generational impact. I did not know at the beginning when that was going to happen. But now that we're having this opportunity to become a resource for other families, to knock down barriers for other people and other businesses, that is what is motivating me now. Because it's like bigger than me.
Absolutely.
So it kind of is evolved and shifted as I've gotten started. At first, it was like, oh, we just need a bigger kitchen. That was the that was the initial motivator. And then it was like, oh, I need something else to do, or I want to help me and Debria. So it just kind of started out like that.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, I want to leave a legacy for my family. I want to leave a legacy for the other people's family. I want to be a staple within my community. I want to, it's evolving as, time moves on. So.
And so, for me, because I know all of you beautiful young ladies, and I've been privy to to hear a lot of the story behind it. But for our listeners who don't know, can you tell us the significance of the 6888 Kitchen? A lot of people don't know how important just that name is, and what's the meaning behind that name, and why it's so significant to our community, and not only our community, the world, but to all women who are out there who want and need to know about the motivation behind it.
Well, it was really great timing. Again, like all this stuff just fell into place.
Yeah.
Right? Keeps happening. It does. I was doing a radio show and I was talking to the host about the kitchen, and he said, "You remind me of the ladies of the 6888." And I was really embarrassed because I'm like,
Yeah.
I've been in the military for almost 18 years. And he started telling me about this battalion of women, the 6888 Central Coastal Battalion. They were all minority females who were sent, American citizens, sent to Europe during World War II to fix a backlog of mail. So they had this no mail, low morale. So they went in there with this mindset of these troops need their morale fixed. They need to know that people love them and care about them.
Yes.
And those letters are the key to winning the war. And if we can deliver the mail, they gave them 6 months. And they went out there and they did it in 3. And so after he told me the story, I went back to the ladies, and I think we had it on our slides like North Arcade Kitchen.
Yeah, we were like cooking
So the
kitchen.
original name was North Arcade Kitchen.
We had all kind of crazy names.
But we are not creative.
So the name was just like kitchen.
It was kitchen.
Okay.
Kitchen.
The more we dug into it, like, so as a trio, now let's really take a look at these women. And then it was just like the bombshell fact was their commander was Lieutenant Colonel Charity Adams Early. And then one of them was like the elementary school here in Dayton. I was
Charity
like,
Adams.
She's from Dayton, Ohio.
I'm like, she lived in Dayton, Ohio.
Yes.
Found out she lived in Dayton, Ohio. So we had no idea.
Divine order.
Divine, exactly.
Okay.
I said, that's it right there. We're looking no further. That's it.
So everything that those women represented, we emulated, just like that grace under fire and get it done and believe in something bigger than yourself. And you're doing this for other people.
Yes.
It's not been a selfish pursuit for the three of us. It really is like, how can we help other people? And I think that's lended to the success of the project too. Because I see a lot of people out there, they want to be rich, they want to be famous, they want something.
Yeah.
And we're like, we just want people to be able to have a lasting legacy that they can, give to their kids.
To hear, and for a lot of our guests who's out there who's listening, to hear how they almost sent that battalion over there to do an impossible task. And they didn't make excuses. They went over there and not only accomplished what was set forth for them, but then created something even more phenomenal. And to hear that, it just solidifies what we do and what we want to see done for our community and what you ladies are doing. The things that you are bringing to not only our downtown Dayton, our community, and other entrepreneurs, because you guys are everywhere. I see y'all on everything. I listen, y'all think I be like, they on that too. So to have you here and be able to share with our guests exactly how you guys have went through this, how you created this space, and how you want to help others is really inspirational to so many. So I want to thank you for that. In addition to that, I want y'all to kind of talk to us about some of the trials and tribulations that you went through with this, because this is a major project, right? This is something that we don't, and we ain't even gotten to the money part yet. Okay, so just can you kind of tell us some of the things that you guys went through in the process of trying to get this thing to really come to light?
It's so funny because I feel like we've gone through so many things, but I'm honestly drawing a blank. Like
Initially, like the concept of it, right?
Yeah, the concept of it. just trying to figure out like how to do it. Lease negotiation was another thing that was pretty taxing. It took us a while to get through that. Then when we thought we were ready to start construction, the price went up, and we didn't have the money to complete the full project. So we had to make almost an instant decision, even though it was they gave us a couple of weeks, but we had to make a decision to phase the project.
Okay.
So we literally had to redo all the paperwork, all the drawings. All of that had to be done over, and we had to make a decision. How do we phase this project when you initially thought everything was going to be done? There were just so many different things and decisions. Stuff would just pop up, and then you would think, okay, it's smooth sailing from here.
Yeah.
And the very next week, something else will happen.
Wow.
And so it's just been this roller coaster of emotions. We've been stretched. We've grown so much. It's just been a lot.
COVID.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Duh.
We were
COVID.
building it. We were in the middle of building it, and COVID happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I think we were in the middle of trying to fundraise to get the initial funding to even build the project, and COVID happened to the point where I was like, well, I'm moving.
Yeah.
Like, I almost left.
Wow.
Because I said, well, we did our first pitch to get the initial funding, and COVID happened. And I'm like, well, Debria, I guess it's probably not going to happen. I started looking at moving to Texas.
Wow.
And then I was like, well, I guess I'm going to move. And then December happened, and they were like, oh, we're going to get it.
Yeah.
It is like,
Just all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Just all of a sudden.
Divine order again. But, and then, of course, life happened. I mean, we are mothers, and we have families. And, I mean, we were looking at pictures today, and I said, I think we met in July. I think in August 2nd, my, father-in-law died. 4 days later, we're looking at a kitchen. Like,
wow.
Just stuff like not even realizing that timelines were happening like that. So I think we are constantly moving so much during this project. When we start looking at timelines, I don't think we realize like how much life is happening in between those things.
Managing multiple things, because people forget we were entrepreneurs before we started this kitchen.
Yes.
We didn't stop being entrepreneurs because we were building a kitchen.
Yeah.
So you're running your first company, building a second company, going through COVID. When we met, I was pregnant.
Oh,
like
I had a baby.
Yeah.
I had a whole baby.
During like the week COVID happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
The first week of pandemic, and then and keeping each other motivated throughout all that, and saying like if we just take one step forward, let's just go one step forward.
Yeah, and dealing with the mental health that came with COVID, because if you were used to seeing your family and being around, and then having the world shut down, like all of that, so the trials and tribulations of just building a business and then being I was stuck at home with my kids.
Yeah. So that's where I want to kind of tap into that, because we know, and as an entrepreneur and as a business owner myself, I know how taxing it can be mentally, how draining it can be mentally. So can you speak to us a little bit about the mental aspect of it? Some of the things mentally you had to do to help you get through. Like you said, it was COVID. You hadn't heard nothing. You were thinking about moving. You kind of just didn't know. You were in limbo a lot with this. And then all the trials and tribulations you faced in the process of getting there. How did it affect your mental capacity?
Yeah, listen, I don't know. I mean, I dealt with anxiety a lot through this process. Especially, just being honest, when you jump into something this large, you've never done anything like this before. We've never done a construction project. We've never run a multi-million-dollar, like this is all new. So you deal with imposter syndrome quite a bit, because you're like, how did I get into this room? Am I good enough to do this? Like, do I know what I'm doing? And it's like, you have to remember the guy wouldn't put you there if you didn't belong there.
Yes.
He doesn't qualify the called. He calls the qualified, or whatever the saying is. So it's kind of like, but still, even though you may know, like, okay, well, if God put me here, so I know I should be here, but you still have those feelings of inadequacies, like, and anxiety. It's something I dealt with terribly. And I was just like, every time a meeting came up, I was like, oh my God, you know how you deal with it. So that just weighs on your mental a lot, just not knowing like what's going to happen, what's going on next. And honestly, it's just, I can't really tell you how I dealt with it,
Yeah.
but I did. A lot of prayer,
Yeah.
a lot of breathing, a lot of talking to them. My husband is amazing because he talked me off several ledges.
Yeah. Yeah. Shouts out to Daryl Rice. We got to give him a shot. My guy, great friend of mine. But shouts out because we know that you kept this together, and that's a hard task, buddy. So we want to give shouts out to Daryl, man. He's been amazing.
No, seriously though, he really is a good guy, and he has talked me off several ledges. He's even set the three of us down. Like, listen, there are going to be struggles. You all aren't always going to see eye to eye and get along, and that's what anything. So he does. He's done a good job in helping keep me balanced and keep me here and encouraging me and telling me you are enough, you are good enough, everything's going to be fine. But yeah, I mean, for me, a lot of prayer and meditation and just taking the time when I need it, and just growing and knowing and finally getting to the point where I do believe that I should be here, that I am supposed to be here.
It didn't make excuses.
That's right. And even when I didn't feel adequate or didn't feel like I knew what I was doing, I did it anyway. Yep. It's like they say, you feel the fear and you do it anyway. Yep. So I just kept pushing and kept moving. And not that I don't get scared or nervous still, but I now know and understand that I am supposed to be here. So all the rest of it.
That's phenomenal.
You should see us like geek out when we see her present.
Yeah.
Well, see. This is what the people don't know. The people don't know is that I know when you was like, I don't wanna present. I'm gonna sit in the back and I'm gonna wait. And so for y'all, see, y'all ain't feeling this. Y'all see, I know. I done seen them, and she has come so far, and I think all of you have, and I think that's what it's about. It's a journey, and so when you step out there on faith, when you make no excuses for being great and succeeding in your own skin and being comfortable, then phenomenal things happen, and that's to show what y'all have. I do want to get to each one of you because I know each one of you have all had to deal with your own ideas of mental anguish that you might have went through going through this process. So, Charlinda, can you kind of tell us a little bit about your mental journey with this?
Well, I had a mental journey beforehand. I joined as a disabled veteran. I think that the great thing about this journey that I've had with three of them is I've learned the value of a team. And what it really feels like to have backup, because my whole journey with Mutt Sauce was a solo entrepreneur. So when stuff was bad, it was just bad. It's on you. You failed. Like, there's no one to just be like, I can't do this today. Help me out. I got it. Like, I didn't even realize how great that was. Like, I'm just not today. And they're like, it's all right.
It took her a while to get there.
Yeah. And then the communication too. I have to say that, I have to practice what I preach, and I talk in public speaking about over communicate.
Yes.
And so the hard part is one of the things that I do as a response to stress is to get quiet.
Okay.
I won't talk to anybody. I will go in a hole. You will not hear from me. And I'm trying to work it out as best as I can, like work it out mentally and stuff. But the encouragement that they have, like, we got to talk about this. Or meet me at the restaurant and we're going to talk. So as hard as those moments were that we had as a trio, they were great for growth.
Okay.
They were perfect because I was like, this is how I think we've made it. Most people would fall apart.
Yeah.
Most teams would fall apart with all the stuff that we've had to deal with.
3 amazing, phenomenal Black women working together.
And that's the other thing. It's not just our inner workings that we're having to deal with. It's external doubting people who all they see is 3 Black women and all the mess and junk that comes with that. And so we every day it's just like proving them wrong. Like, just don't overthink about them. But in our actions, we're proving so many people wrong just by existing this long.
That's phenomenal. So, Miss Jamaica, tell us about your mental journey with this.
When I came into this, I was going through like a huge transition in my life. So I have a great support system. And that really helps me. I think our personalities really helps. I tell Debria, like, she is our like glue, you know, because Charlene and I have very similar personality types. Like, we're very like A-type. And, you know, Debria is like, guys, bring it back, you know? So I think our personality types just like very much mesh well together when it comes to, you know, if we need to check in. So I think they have been really good for me, you know, when, you know, because if I get overwhelmed, overworked, it's like, look, you need to chill out. You need to take a day off. You need to do whatever. And then my support system around me keeps me in check too, you know, when I need to just like, here, you need to come sit on the couch and watch Game of Thrones. Don't do any work today.
Okay.
You know? I got through a whole season of Game of Thrones because of that.
Okay.
So that's just been really good because I'm the type of person that will not watch TV. I will work. I will change a whole linen closet on a day I should just be relaxing.
Yeah.
And that's why I said we're similar like that, you know, but, and I will crash, you know, so because this project, I'm the type of person where I understand the weight that we carry with this because we have funders, we have the weight of the community, we have the weight of our family. And to me, you know, I'm like, well, we don't talk about it. We just work, get it done, crash, get back up, work, get it done. We rely on each other. Okay, girl, let's go. And then we turn around and like a year go by. And we're like, what happened? You know? And so, you know, we're trying to do better, like checking on, making sure we're, you know, that's not happening. But we did that for like 3 years. You know, we're like, you know, we got, look, what is that? You know? To the point where, you know, there was a time, you know, just to give you an example, there was a time that we both had a very serious situation happening in the same week.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Back to back. And we had a pitch meeting that Saturday, and we were both like, we got to do the pitch meeting, and someone had to stop us.
Like, y'all not doing that.
Y'all not doing it. Like, someone had to make us not go. And like, you need to go see this person in the hospital. You need to like take care of your, you know, that situation.
It'll be here.
Yeah, it'll be
here.
Like, but we can't. We need to be there, you know.
Yeah.
And that was like a reality check. And Debria was like, you know, y'all don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So, you know, just having to just get to the point where having to tell myself like, you know, it's okay to like relax or whatever.
Yeah. That's big. That's really big. And you said something very important, and I want to go to that. You talked about the community. How has because I know what I've heard about y'all in the 6AAA kitchen, and it has been nothing but amazing things. It's been nothing but great feedback. So how have you guys been perceived by the community thus far?
I think okay.
I think majority is
positive. I feel like the majority are, you know, everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to support you. People are going to say they do or smile in your face, but we know that it's not 100% out there that's like, go team.
Yeah.
However, I think, you know, the majority of people are really happy. They're really excited for us and they're supporting us. A lot of people think this is long overdue. This project, this kitchen should have been done years ago. And it's been attempted a few times, but I don't think people really understood the concept of it then. But now that people are more open and understanding to what's needed, especially for small businesses and for entrepreneurs, it's just the timing of it is just perfect. It really is. It really is perfect. So our support has been amazing from, again, just family, friends, the funders, the city of Dayton, Montgomery County. Like, we have gotten, you know, corporations, foundations. We've just gotten a lot of support.
You guys provide a service that's much greater than just that. So can you speak to them a little bit about what services y'all do provide?
Operations. You like, you know, operations. So of course we have the commercial kitchen, of course. And I'm gonna let Charlene talk about the educational program. But within that space, you know, we'll have food entrepreneurs, and that ranges from, you know, anyone that wants to be from e-commerce, caterers, food trucks, bakers. But, you know, part of my role is, you know, operations. I'm going to be looking to help them not just, you know, scale out the kitchen, but giving them opportunities to grow their business. So working and helping them get, you know, corporate contracts, doing, you know, first floor activation opportunities in, you know, their city of choice. So if they live in, West Carrollton or Trotwood or, Troy, wherever they live, helping them, eventually get into the areas that they want to get into, creating opportunities for them in those spaces as well, helping them get, businesses, not just here in the Dayton area, but other places too, working with other local farmers, local organizations, where we're creating partnerships, and just helping all food businesses grow, So that is where my focus is with the kitchen, of course, just helping us stay in compliance, of course. But our goal is to create a huge ecosystem for opportunities for all food entrepreneurs that are coming in our space, and giving them opportunities that they wouldn't normally have because they're doing it by themselves normally.
Absolutely.
So huge, way more than just being a member.
Yeah.
And just coming in and cooking.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be like huge opportunities for the members that are coming out of there.
One thing that we did notice about this area, it is a food desert, and we have food insecurity issues. And that means there's not adequate access to healthy food, and there's not enough grocery stores that provide healthy food. So we are actually a source of healthy food for the downtown Dayton area because we have our own retail space. So imagine any of the talent that's in our kitchen is making food real time, and you can walk into our retail space and buy food from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Partnerships that we're working with Debria's, building with local farmers. We have all the space on the outside sidewalk. So in summertime, you could look forward to a farmer's market, like grab a bag and come and get some fresh fruits and vegetables from 6888 Farmer's Market. And then eventually when phase 2 is done, the whole entire kitchen has a classroom.
Okay.
So you can take cooking classes, nutrition classes, things like that. I mean, so many different ways that we're helping the food entrepreneurs grow. We're nourishing our local economy, like making sure they have healthy access to food. And if you look at the ripple effect of having healthy food, you can look at education. You can look at jobs and workforce development. You can look at tourism. And people are like, oh, where's the place? Downtown Dayton, 6888 Kitchen. That's where you need to travel to.
We got everything.
And so you have all those things that are happening because of 6888 Kitchen. And then we started with nourishing the minds of the entrepreneurs. So we had a program called Sharpen the Axe. It was a financial literacy program for food entrepreneurs. And the reason why that was important is because you might have a really great cupcake. You might make the best food on earth. But if it's not priced correctly, or you don't understand what it means to be a good business owner, I can't tell you if you're going to be profitable 3 years from now. I can't even tell you if you can afford to be in 6888 Kitchen because I haven't seen your tax returns, I don't know your profit loss statements. So that it's like build a relationship with them before we even open up the doors of the kitchen to say, like, we're a safe place for you to talk about finances too. Yeah. We want you to be successful financially. And now when I teach these classes, hand them off to Debria, and Debria has the whole list of.
So y'all doing it from a mental standpoint, a physical standpoint, an emotional standpoint. You guys are really trying to educate everybody holistically, absolutely, and that's something that's almost unheard of. So what you guys are doing is just when I listen to and I find out new stuff. Every time I talk to y'all, I find out new stuff that y'all doing. I'm like, man, they got something else. And so that in turn tells our community that this is something that they have to be a part of. So I love that part about it. From the educational standpoint, if an individual wants to come and they want to be knowledgeable, they have a business, they're operating, what's the first step they should do?
Well, it really just depends on where they are in the business. Okay. Again, they can start with Sharpening the Axe if they feel like, I want to do the education part first. Most people, we honestly do recommend that they take Sharpen the Axe just because it's a great program. And, even me as a 18-year veteran, I could take Sharpen the Axe and learn something, so it's always something to learn in the food industry. But if you've been in business a few years and you feel like, you're making enough money, I don't necessarily need that right now, I may take it later, then you can reach out to me. Really, you can go on the website, 6888kitchen.org, and apply there.
Okay.
But that's where you apply. It tells you everything you need to apply for membership. But if you go on there and you read through and you're like, I still have questions, you're welcome to submit an inquiry or just reach out to me and I'll schedule a consultation with you. And then just from there, go through and answer any questions that you have. I will ask questions about your business. Again, we want to make sure that you're ready. We don't want you to sign up for something that is too much for you at this time. If you're ready to come in, then we just kind of go through those steps of getting you, onboarding and those types of things. But if it's something that you're not ready for, then again, we may get you to Charlinda so that she can help you get ready, or we may refer you to one of the other great resources in Dayton. Could be the Greater West Dayton Incubator or Launch. There's a resource page on Launch Dayton's website that has all of the small business resources here in our area. So we definitely have all the connections that we need to make sure that you are successful. If it's something that we cannot help you with, then we will definitely refer you to, wherever you need to go. But the first step is the website.
There it is.
And then we go from there.
website. So I want to touch on this because you just said it, and it's so valuable and vital that we utilize the resources that are out here. One of the major things that I hear all the time, and I'm sure you guys hear too, is that they don't know about the resources. So can you kind of speak to our listeners about what resources that you may have went through? What organizations helped you? What are some of the grants or opportunities or whatever you guys kind of to build to get to where you wanted to go? What are some of the resources and tools that you use that really helped you?
From a business standpoint, and the reason why I love the fact that we're in the Dayton Arcade is like a hub of entrepreneurship. And if you haven't been here, there are organizations like Small Business Development Center here, Greater West Dayton Incubator has an office here, the Entrepreneur Center is all free mentorship for entrepreneurs. So you just walk in and say, this is my company, this is my issue, you'll get assigned a mentor, or you'll get enrolled in the class, and we'll make sure we take care of you. We love being here because we know that these are entrepreneurs as well who will need this. Another great organization is SCORE, score.org. They have free mentorship. Bunker Labs, if you're a veteran, is free mentorship for veterans. Aviatra is, I think, paid services, but they also provide a lot of great mentorship and resources. Launch Dayton, like Debria mentioned, they have events, which I love. You can come to like a small business week and see all kinds of people, see podcasts like this happening live in the Rotunda. I love it. I mean, this place is stacked with resources. If you're a minority-owned business too, you could go to the Urban League. I would get on their mailing list because they're constantly sending out grants of different types of things you can apply for. Hello Alice is another great one. You can get on their list and they regularly send you the grants. New Voices Family is great for grants too. I mean, you have to there's a lot of resources here, but you kind of have to get out of your comfort zone of your house or wherever you're at, and you have to meet people. Right. And it's usually through word of mouth.
So networking, making sure they're networking. One of our big events that we host is the Rooftop Social, and I know that is a great opportunity. And I'm pretty sure, and I'm gonna put this out here right now for y'all, they will be at the Rooftop Social. So I'm just making sure that y'all know. Yeah, the Rooftop Social is phenomenal. So if you want to meet these ladies in person and find out more about them, definitely show up to that. I kind of want to tap in with you, Miss Jamaica White, about the financial aspect. We hear people, all they want to know about is money. So can you speak a little bit about how you guys actually built this and got to the point that you are from a financial standpoint? What are some of the tips? What are some of the things that they can do to really secure capital? Everybody thinks that it's got to be a loan or it could only be grants, and we get this a lot. I want a grant. I'm doing this. I need some money. I want a grant. So can you kind of speak to them a little bit about that?
Well, I first want to preface this by saying that we are a unicorn, okay? We came in at a time where it was during COVID. There were, a lot of federal dollars and things that were going on at the time where, we were able to get, grants. It was very different, okay? So we were able to raise a lot of grant dollars. And I like to tell people it does not always happen that way. So I don't want people to think you could just walk into a corporation just with a pitch deck and your financials, and you're just going to get $1 million. It does not work that way. I like people to hear our story and just assume you're going to get $1 million, because it does not happen that way. However, if you have your paperwork together, if you have your, all of your numbers, which is your financials, knowing what your profits are, knowing what your expenses are, and you have that for the next 3 to 5 years. If you know your business plan, if you can explain that thoroughly, and you do your market research, so you can, go into, organization and explain, why your business is sustainable and how is it comparable and why it's a need in the marketplace, and you could support it with documentation, you have a better chance of getting a grant. You have a better chance of going to a bank and saying, this is why my business is a good idea. This is why I need, a $10,000 grant. This is what the money is going to be allocated for. And here is what I have done over the last 3 years in business. I've made $10,000, this past year, 2 years ago, and then I grew this much. Here's the documents to prove that. And that is how, in my personal experience, I've been able to secure funding before. In this business, when we were going in to go and pitch for our grants, we had a lot of support helping us write those grants. We had a grant writer to help us write 35. Yvette Kelly Fields helped us write 30, 40 page.
Shouts out, Miss Yvette Kelly Fields. Yes. We got to give you, because without you, yes, flowers.
We're posting, they're showing us on the news, and they're like, oh, we got $1 million grant for Fifth Third, and it sounds like great, but I don't know if that's really happening all the time. And we had a grant writer, and that we had a person help us do that. So I just want to make sure what I'm telling is reality.
Being coy about one thing though, because we have a nickname for her.
Okay. Okay. We got to hear this. Y'all hear that this is an exclusive. We get the nickname. So give us that nickname.
She's the VIP Whisperer.
VIP Whisperer. Wow.
Every time we have had a meeting with
a bank, corporation,
she always becomes the BFF of the president, not just like president. So yes.
Okay, I've had some practice.
Okay.
So that's another thing too. I've had practice being in those situations, so that's another thing too.
Relationships. She's really great at building relationships.
In this business you have.
And you have to be. In any business, really, but you're asking someone for $1 million.
You want to have a good relationship.
And y'all ain't just asked for 1 million. They asked for a lot of millions. We ain't going to tell you the numbers, but they asked for a lot of millions.
Yeah, but I've had practice. The first, one of the first loans I asked for was when I went to go get the loans get the equipment for me and Debria's business. That was at Right Pat. So I had practice. That was 7 years ago. So I've had practice going into financial institutions, talking to, having imposter syndrome, having to have financials together, talking to people who don't look like me, asking for high dollar amounts, so once we got here, well, first of all, Charlotte to trick me, I didn't know I was the Fifth Third asking for $1 million. Okay. I showed up to the meeting in sandals.
The boxes, it's hard for them to tell you no. I mean, they can tell you no,
yeah.
But you had these shining, beautiful faces that checked all the boxes. They had all their ducks in a row. The pitch was amazing. So it was kind of like, let's bless these young ladies who are doing something amazing for the city of Dayton. And Fifth Third granted us with our first $1 million. And from there, Fifth Third's seal of approval helped us continue to grow. So we went to the next person and the next person, and we just dug and dug and dug, and we're still digging. But we just continue to go after one, the other, and we don't get them all. Like, we've been told no several times, but like Yvette tells us all the time, it's not a no, it's just not right now. So you get told that no, and then you just go back and do it again, and then the next time you find out what you didn't do, what was missing, what should I have added or included, what do I need to change? And then you just go back and ask them again, and you just keep going, and it's just rinse and repeat, and you just do it over and over and over again.
And we had to get in the habit of actually asking when we got rejected too. Like,
why? Yeah. So this is why we're here. This is why the No Excuse Podcast exists. A couple of things I want to share with you is just for you guys that are out there and listening. Listen to what they're telling you. They're saying, we went in there with our ducks in a row. We had our information. We had a hell of a team. We had everything that we needed. And sometimes we still got told no. But we didn't go in there unprepared. We didn't go in there without what we needed. We didn't go in there and say, oh, these are the qualifications. Well, I thought y'all wanted this. You have to go in there, and we got to stop making excuses for us going into places and asking for opportunities that we say we want, going in unprepared and saying they keeping something from us. They're stopping us from going, well, what did you do? Let's back up. Did you do everything you were supposed to do? So I'm so glad you brought up that point, because I see business owners every day. I see them tell me, well, I went here and they wouldn't give me this. Okay, well, where's the requirements? And then they give me the requirements. I'm like, do you have all this stuff? Well, I got half of it. Well, what did you expect them to do? So for us as a community, as a business owner, as a future entrepreneur, make sure you find these resources. Make sure you reach out to these mentors. Make sure you have your ducks in a row before you go in the bank and ask them for $1 million and say that they being racist. Well, what did you do? Did you do your part? And a no doesn't mean that a person or institution doesn't want to help you. It just means not right now. You may have to go back and do some more work to get yourself prepared to receive it, because we're not always prepared to receive it. We say we want it, but then when you receive it, are you really prepared for it? So you guys have been phenomenal in that. And so I thank you, and my hat's off to you, because we are out here as an entrepreneur, and you guys being entrepreneurs, really teaching our younger generation what it means to be successful. So with that said, I kind of want to go into some things. One, tell us see, we hear all the hard stuff. See, people don't want to talk about the good stuff. Tell us some of the good stuff that's been going on. What was good? What was your most enjoyable part about this? What were the fun times? What did y'all do that you like, man, I didn't know this was going to happen. I'm so excited about this.
Well, you know, you like, oh no. I have to say, like, I love our board. I mean, as much as we get through every month, we have board meetings, and sometimes we feel a little beat up because they're just the growth that we had.
Yes.
But I mean, they're all just A-list. I agree.
Yeah.
They're great, and they stretch us and they make us think. And I think that the credit, we have to also give credit for the growth of this.
So how vital was that? Because I know the board, see, people don't understand that. Once again, we educating our community. How important and vital was it? Because especially with nonprofits, and I hear this all the time, is, I'm going to go get my cousin, and I'm going to go get my friend, and I'm going to go let's talk about that.
Our team, and I'm not talking about just the board. I'm talking about the construction rep that I work with. The Yvette who helps us write our grants. There is no way I could have been the operations director and do the job that I do for the 688 kitchen and walk into the meetings that I walk into without the team that I have.
Yes.
Because I tell everyone all the time, like, I'm smart, but I'm not this smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm smart enough. I'm book smart.
Yeah.
But I'm not. They have polished me to be able to walk into the rooms that I walk into.
Yes.
If you would have asked me that, could I have run this construction project without that board and without the team members that I had a year ago?
Yes.
No. I would have been like, I I could, read some of the words on the construction project because of my background.
Yes.
But now I walk into those meetings, they don't even worry about half the stuff I do now because they've trained us to run things efficiently. So it's vital. Like, I didn't even know anything about running a nonprofit. No.
What advice would you give any, especially our Black women entrepreneurs, starting in the food industry or a business? What advice would you? And I want to go to each one of you. What advice would you give them?
I would just say do your research and make sure that you understand and know there are several resources out here. We talked about them all. So don't feel like you have to do this alone. When I started, it wasn't that way. It's 18 years ago, and it just wasn't a lot of people, stepping out being entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
And I just started kind of just something to do on the side, but I just didn't feel like there were a lot of resources. So it was just me just hammering away on Google trying to figure this thing out. But there are a lot of people out here who are business owners, so don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. There's somebody out there who won't gatekeep. Charlinda says all the time, we don't gatekeep, and who will help you. So just don't be afraid to do that. Reach out and, use your resources. Don't do this thing by yourself because you don't have to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Get a tribe, man. I tell you, I just love them so much. I do. It's like so deep love. I don't think that I have had the privilege of learning from such wonderful human beings as I've had the last 5 years. Not gonna cry. You guys are awesome. I would say if you have a product, especially if you're in the food industry, if it tastes good now, it'll taste good later. But if you jack up your processes now, you will have such a painful journey. Just take your time. Don't jump out there because you think you're going to miss something.
Yes.
What's for you is for you. It will always be there. Your success or whatever you think success is will always be there for you.
Yes.
But do your due diligence because I've held so many hands. I've hugged so many sobbing people who cashed out their 401k and they thought that they would just have to go viral, and going viral was their strategy.
Oh, wow.
It's just, I've heard too many horror stories, and all of them I could tie back to not taking the time to get your financial processes right. At the core of your business is a business. And I know all three of us are invested in making sure that we're churning out successful businesses out of 6 AAA kitchen. So just do that. And you do have a lot of resources, but know that you have a support system that is at home. And they're there to help you through this journey. This is also a journey of entrepreneurship. And don't neglect the people who are supporting you through this journey because they will be there when all of this is said and done. Whether you get acquired or you decide to shut down, you got to come back to this unit. And you want that unit to be just as jazzed as day one than when it's all said and done.
Great.
What they both said. I think for any food, not just food, but any female entrepreneur, I think it's so important for them to have a strong support system. And if they have family or children or whatever, have those conversations with them. Make them a part of what your journey is going to be because you are going to have if you have children or a partner, you're going to have different responsibilities. So take them on a journey with you. Say, hey, mommy is going to have long nights or sometimes we're going to be doing homework together. I'm on a conference call. You're going to have those conversations, but have people around you that can help you when you need someone to watch your kids. Or when you're having, those hard times, you need someone to talk to, or who can connect you with someone, for your business. You need to have a tribe in your home life. You need to have a tribe in your business life. Okay. So if that's a mentor, if that's business partners, collaboration is important. Every business I've ever done, I've worked with someone. So I just think that would be my advice. So
absolutely. So this is the No Excuse Podcast. And so I would like for you guys to be able to give our viewers one word that gave you motivation to not give excuses. If you had one word that just helped you get through and say, I'm not making excuses, what would that one word be?
Family.
Legacy. Legacy.
So y'all hear it. Family, legacy. So just creating that. And I think you guys are truly the definition of that. Here, as always, at the No Excuse Podcast, I like to give some motivation. Today, you are able to see 3 phenomenal African-American women from your area doing great things. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to take this information and are you going to keep walking around talking about what you want to do, or are you going to strap your boots up and do what you got to do? We have been here at the No Excuse Podcast displaying all kind of entrepreneurs, but not just entrepreneurs, just individuals that have amazing and phenomenal stories. These 3 ladies all have amazing and phenomenal stories, and they've come here and they've shared it with you today. Without them coming together, without them not letting anybody hold them back, without them putting in the hard work, the dedication, and the perseverance to be great and to be excellent, none of this will be here for your community. So as always, what we want to say is thank you, and we want to sign off by saying we love you, and we truly, truly appreciate you and what you're doing for our community. Thank you again, ladies. I appreciate you being here at the No Excuse Podcast. Signing off.